bottom three are all in. So you can see the first trend. First trend, they compete based on price. So therefore, price is the decision variable. The price is the decision variable. If you look at the trend, all the first trend firms, they compete on price. So the function of the trend model is that those are homogeneous. Consumers have perfect information, no transport cost. There was no transaction cost. That being the case, so perfect composition, homogeneous, so you assume that all firms have constant marginal cost, zero fixed cost. You can recall this how I showed you constant marginal cost fixed cost. Is constant, right? Okay. So constant marginal cost. Now, I'm going to show you that you can have a Nash equilibrium whereby all firms will set price to marginal cost, which is the competitive equilibrium. Okay, so the Bertrand argues that in Nash equilibrium, every firm will set price to marginal cost. Marginal cost is this. Okay? If all firms only can make 0.1. How come Bertrand argued that every firm have to set price equal to marginal cost on this 0 point? Why is this the Nash equilibrium? Because how come no firm, how come the price must be equal to AC? Why the price cannot be below AC? Very simple, this one doesn't ask. Any firm that sells below the average cost that's making losses and will close down anyway. Okay, so this is understandable. Then why no firms sell above their average cost? The reason is because of competition. If you sell above the average cost, what will the rest of the firm do? They let you sell at that cost, above the average cost. They will just keep their price to take away all your customers. Right. But if you sell the price above your average cost, so the rest of the firm will not follow you. They sell at average cost. So they take away all your customers. Which means that the Bertrand equilibrium has to be such that every firm can sell at what? Average cost. So therefore, we have proven that in the Bertrand model, where firms compete on price. Okay? Now if firms compete on price, then every firm will set price to marginal cost on average cost. If they are all at the same cost. Okay, so essentially that's what the trend is all about. Now, of course, every firm will have invoice. The price cannot be above, cannot be below. So at equilibrium, it has to be equal. Now the question is, they will only do that if all of them face the same cost. Now, if some firms have a cost advantage, what will they do? Those firms that have a cost advantage, do you think they will set P to MC? No. Because they are competing based on price, so therefore they will try to undercut each other. Which means, for instance, you can see for yourself here. Look at this industry. Look at the average cost. Do you think every firm will set P to MC? In this case, 100%. Why? It doesn't make sense. Some firm has more advantage over the other firm. You agree? Which firm has a cost advantage? Firm 1 or firm 2? Firm 2. So it's very simple to see that if you firm 2 has a cost advantage, it will be very silly for firm 2 to set price to 4. But what you will do is, if you look at firm 1, if firm 1 the average cost is 8, what price can firm 1 charge? The lowest price that firm 1 can charge will be 8, just to break even. Can firm 1 sell below 8? No. You'll be making losses. Now, what should firm 2 do? Of course, firm 2 wants to take away the entire market share of firm 1. Agree or not? So how do you take away all the market share of firm 1? Sell below 8. Does firm 2 has to sell at 4? Well, if we sell at 4 for sure, set P to 4. Of course, we will drive firm 1 out. But there's no need to do so. All he has to do is that if firm 1, just to break even, sell at 8, he just has to sell slightly below 8. 790. 780. And that will be enough for firm 2 to take away all the market share of firm 1. Right? And take the whole market, so it becomes the only seller. So I think it's very simple. The question here is very simple. If you can undercut, will they undercut? Sure. But in order to undercut, there must be a cost advantage. Right? If the firm has no cost advantage, that's why you see they all have to set P to this. But if the firm has a cost advantage, it will be very silly for you to set P to this. They will try to take away all the customers from the other firm. So they will price to undercut. Understand? So if the costs are different, we know every firm for sure will price to undercut. Then you sell at a very low price, just sell below the other person's price a little bit. It's enough to drive him out of the market. Okay, so that's the sense of the trend model. It means it's very simple. If you look at your tutorial, how to find the contract equilibrium. Using that same example, find for me the contract equilibrium. How do we find it? Okay, so in order to find the trend equilibrium, first using that same data as before. So we're given the demand function is average cost of sale. Now before I go further, if all of them have the same average cost, what do you think we all do? They're all set P to 1. And they undercut each other. So therefore, firm 1 will set P to MC1. Firm 2 will set P to MC2. Okay? That's all. So every firm will set P to MC1. That's all. Okay, so next thing. So every firm will set price to MC. So let's look at firm 1. So if you are firm 1, now your P is this. So firm 1 will set this P to MC1. What's MC1? And so how to find the Bertrand equilibrium? How much will each firm produce? Firm 1 will set P to MC1. term 2 set P to N. Now I just look at term 1. Now we have one equation, how many unknowns are there? 2. Alright, so you have 2 unknowns. So the question now is, we have 2 unknowns. Okay, so can we solve this equation? One equation with 2 unknowns. And then we solve. Yes, don't forget. Let's try this model is a symmetric model. Is Bertrand symmetric? Yes, right. Okay. Are the costs the same? Both of them the same cost. Okay, so I think if that's the case, we can apply symmetry. That's it. The one equation we can solve for. So we can apply symmetry. Okay? So that being the case, all you have to do is, from here, you can write Q2 as what? You can write Q2 as how much? Q1. Right. So if you write Q2 as Q1, what will you get? 2Q1 is equal to 16. So what's Q1 equal to? 13. Right. So you found one, you found one. Good. So as long as we have a symmetric model, we can do it straight away. Easy? So you found one, you found all, therefore the market price will be 10. Profit, symmetry means quantity same. Profit is same. Firm 1 profit is this. And so firm 2 profit is the same. Okay, any question? So that's it. Easy? Now how do we find the solution equilibrium? Next, I will come to the model form solution. Now, so this model about the solution. So you see the last three models they are symmetric model, right? So bear in mind, this last three model is quite useful, right? So it's a symmetric model, so you can always make use of symmetry in the function. Okay. So what's the last model called for this model? Now this is like a cartel that we are talking about, right? The first form of cartel. So from here, the cartel model says what? Now, solution is worthwhile. For example, like the OPEC cartel. How does OPEC produce? In the real world, how does OPEC produce? Do they fix price or they fix quantity? Which one does OPEC give? Price or quantity? If they want to pollute, normally OPEC, they will fix the price of oil or quantity of oil. Now I said before earlier that you cannot possibly go to fix price. Right? Why cannot fix price? Because you have learned from basic microeconomics that you fix price, you will not work. Now, but fixed quantity is also very troublesome. People will cheat. Right? So fixed quantity very troublesome. Everyone got to check each other how much you produce. So if you are OPEC, one must go through the difficulties of fixing quantity instead of price. So this is the price of oil, this is the quantity of oil. So the supply of oil is here. Now we fix it as a constant $100 million barrel a month. Now the demand for oil is very inelastic, so it's very steep. So initially the price of oil is here, supply is very high. So supply is limited because at any point in time, the supply of oil is fixed at a certain price. Okay. If OPEC decides to fix the price of oil, so one way is just to fix the price of oil. Okay. Now, 5 years ago, the price of oil in the US was $5. Now, if you want to fix it at, let's say, 90, is it possible? Yes. You make it to 100 or so can. 100. How? Now, why you cannot fix price? You cannot fix the price because it's very simple. You open say everyone has to sell at 100. Can you see what will happen? Why it cannot work? There's this thing called excess supply. Okay? So that's the reason why you fail badly. Because we know one thing for sure, when you have excess supply more than demand like this, right? What happens? Everything will break down, right? Don't talk about oil, even human beings, I told you before, right? The reason why men are worth less than women. Right? We are not women's best friend, we are dog's best friend because there are just too much men around. Everywhere you go, you see men. Alright, go to the washroom, man. Come out washroom, man. Go to the bathroom, man. Go to the bedroom, man. Everywhere. So that's why the value of men is no value. Now, if men are not spared, so does oil, right? So that's why the price of oil is cheap. You cannot fix the price. You fix the price, you will come back to here, isn't it? That's why there's no choice. Because fixing price is so much easier than fixing quantity, right? Because fixing quantity is very troublesome. Now, but then you see, you don't have a choice. Because the only way you can sustain $100 is to control the supply. Right now, it means purposely produce 70 million barrels a month. Reduce the supply to S1. Now, if you cut back on the supply to S1, then you can see the equilibrium will now be supply to demand. So this price will be sustainable forever. As long as nobody cheats, it will be sustainable. So the cartel can last for a very long time by fixing quantity. Now, if you reduce the supply, that means every member country has to now produce less. Who produce less? So this becomes a big issue. This is also one of the reasons why cartel failed. Alright, Saudi said, okay, Nigeria, you produce 10 million. Saudi Arabia big can produce 15 million. Alright, Nigeria is not happy. Why must you produce 50 and produce 10? So therefore, sometimes cartel fail because people will cheat. Right? They think it's not fair. You know, it's more than that. The profit if you cheat is very high. Right? So therefore, cheating always will take place. Okay, so they always control the quota. So from here onwards, everyone combined together produce only 80 million, not more. Okay? So everybody enjoy on the US. So very simple. So cartel, oil cartel, you see, they never thought about fixing the price. It's always fixing the quota. Right? Now, if you fix the quota, you fix the supply, you can get whatever price you want. It's so simple, right? Okay. So that's solution. Solution means fix something. Some, of course, like for example, the coach tour, then they produce by fixing price, right? The coach operator that goes, that bring you to KL, Malaysia. So there are many ways to produce, right? The simplest case is, like I said, the two vegetable seller in the back market becomes two players, only what they do. First they compete like crazy. After a while, they do produce like crazy. Set the price of vegetable way above everyone else, right? Now, why they set an advantage? Because you take a bus or you take a taxi to go to another market, just because of the vegetable, then it's not worth buying. Right? So they have calculated this and they are very clever. So until recently, there's one new store coming. And give them a lot of time. Because the new store move set the price until then. So the other two are very active, but I'm sure 3 of them eventually will come back to me. Alright, because if there are 3 firms, why should we compete? They will produce. So this new guy will come in, he set the price 50% below theirs, not because his price is low, because their price is exorbitant, too high. Alright, so first thing you want to take away all their market share. I'm sure if you cannot take away, but I'm sure you will anyway, because vegetables are homogeneous. Alright, you eat vegetables today, taste different. Different taste the taste come from something else. Okay. So if you decide to form a cartel, how much should you produce? Okay. So make it very simple. You have a two-member firm, 2 firms cartel. Now, you must always remember once you form a cartel, your objective is to maximize group profit. Right. A cartel will not act as a happy family. When you form a cartel, that means you are no longer competing individually, right? You're competing as one happy family. So therefore, your objective is to maximize group profit. Okay? You can see group profit is equal to price times quantity. Group profit means price times quantity of firm 1 or firm 2. Both. Right. This will be the total revenue of the 2 firms. P times Q1 plus P times Q2. So this is called group profit. The red color stuff, their function is. So this is the group profit, total revenue, group revenue minus group cost. The cost of firm 1 to produce Q1 minus the cost of firm 2 to produce Q2. So I think you can see from this profit function is no longer an individual profit function, but a group function. Right? Group profit function. Now, if you are firm 1, so now you and your partner has to decide how much he produced and how much you produce. So for firm 1, how much to produce, then you d pi OD Q1. Now, first, if you d pi OD Q1, you have to take note that you have to differentiate this as well. Because P is a function of Q1 and Q2. Right? You cannot say P is a constant. The price depends on the total quantity produced by the cartel. Total quantity, right? So therefore, Q1 is in the P here. So there's a Q1 inside this P and there's a Q1 here, right? So you have to differentiate using product rule. So first product rule, I hold this term constant. Differentiate this with respect to Q, you get dP or dQ. Next, I hold P constant. Then I differentiate this with respect to Q1. This Q1 becomes 1 and Q2 becomes 0. Alright, so therefore, this is your product rule. So if you differentiate with respect to Q1, this becomes MC1, dC over dQ1, right? And this becomes 0 because there's nothing here. It's not a function of Q. And so maximize profit set equal to 0. So how much will a firm 1 produce? You can see clearly that this expression here is marginal revenue. Alright. So this is marginal revenue. That means firm 1 will produce until marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Okay? Which means for firm 2 also the same thing. If you d pi over dQ2, for the same analogy, you should get something like this is MR2. Right, this is the marginal revenue for firm 2. It's exactly equal to their marginal cost. Okay, simple. Okay, now if you don't know mathematics, then it's also not important. Because for Collusive model, it's very simple. You just have to know, if the exam question asks you to find the Collusive equilibrium, always remember, optimally, every firm is produced until when? Firm 1, MR equal MC1, equals to MR equals MC2. That's all we need. Alright, in fact, all the solutions that they do is also the same. Just set the MR together. Your math will be plus C, not to worry. Now, why 1 MR? Because the demand for oil is only 1 demand, right? The world demand. How come there are 2 MC? Because there are 2 different countries, so their costs are different. Right. For example, the cost of extracting oil in Saudi Arabia is 2 times more than the cost of extracting oil in Iraq. Okay? Because Iraq, the oil are all on the surface. Right. Just take a straw and you suck, you get oil. Right. Saudi Arabia, you suck, no oil. Right. Very, very low. So Iraq, the cost of extracting oil is lower than North Korea. So that's why you can see the marginal cost are different. You cannot expect to be the same. Okay? So one MR because one demand, two MC because two different countries. Now that we have this, we can now solve the problem. So that means the above equation shows that MR equals MC1, MC2 if you combine them together. Okay, so far any question? If no question, then I'm going to show you how to solve the problem. For example, we are given the industry demand